Look, when you're here, and I'm here, I don't think I should use this moment. I know sometimes I'm hard to love, but you keep on loving me, and I love you right back. Thank you so much.
Shout out to the New York Post, because while everybody's fixated on this Justin Timberlake gives a heartfelt speech in the first concert after the alleged DWI arrest. He tells people it's been a rough week. You're here and I'm here. That's what he told everybody. You're here and I'm here. The New York Post says, dumbass Justin Timberlake, and I love how they said like dumbass. Dumbass Justin Timberlake's ignored warning. Dumbass Justin Timberlake ignored warning minutes before DWI bus from the same cop who ended up arresting him. This is what the sources say. He's bringing Dopey back. It turns out pop star Justin Timberlake could have avoided all of this Hamden DUI drama. Could have avoided it all. All could have been avoided had he only heeded the wise words of the young cop who later placed him in handcuffs. Now, what's so funny is how Twitter acts like, oh my God, this officer didn't know who Justin Timberlake was. Oh my God, oh my. Yeah, good thing he didn't know who he was, because if he did know who he was, would he have been swayed otherwise? It kind of makes you wonder. Good. I'm glad he didn't know. And he did the right thing by arresting him, but it sounded like he warned him before he got in the car. Don't get in this car. You're drunk. And he still didn't give a shit. Why? Because he's intoxicated. His friends were there, right? They could have stopped it. They could have intervened, and they decided not to. So what happened? What had happened? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. A local law enforcement source told the Post Timberlake 43 was actually stopped twice on Tuesday morning in Sag Harbor on Long Island. The first time he received a warning not to continue on with his trip. But did he listen? No. He was stopped and advised not to drive, the sources said. On the officer didn't recognize him. He's a young guy, and he still gave Justin a break because he didn't pose an immediate danger. Michael Arkinson, 23 years old, and just doing his job. And the internet's giving him a hard time about doing his job that he was hired to do, right? Like, he's supposed to stop these individuals that get behind the wheel. The officer thought that was the end of it and that this guy would just get a ride home, said the source. But several minutes later, the officer was patrolling a different side of the village. Timberlake was observed by the same officer driving his 2025 BMW SUV again and stopped, added the source. What a dumbass, the source reflected. I was thinking he could afford a driver. Now, how is that for entitlement? Timberlake was stopped the second time after allegedly driving through a stop sign at a four-way intersection and then swerving his SUV into the left lane. The married dad of two, who acknowledged previous issues with excessive drinking, told police he'd had a single martini at the historic American Hotel where he had dinner with friends, sources told Page Six. And I find it interesting that everybody's coming for this officer that was just doing his job. It remains unclear who he dined with, but several musicians like J-Lo, Jay-Z, and Beyonce have homes there, as do music industry heavyweight. After being asked to exit his vehicle, Timberlake then attempted to pass a number of field sobriety tests, performing poorly, according to court documents. The suit and tied singer was asked 3 times to blow into a breathalyzer and refused. The officer noted in his report that Timberlake was unsteady on his feet, slurred his speech, and smelled strongly of alcohol. His eyes, the report reads, were glassy and bloodshot. During the second stop, Timberlake allegedly bemoaned the impact his arrest would have on his world tour. Timberlake played a show Friday in Chicago where he told fans, "It's been a tough week, and I know I'm hard to love sometimes, but you guys keep loving me back." And then, of course, all the people out there throwing their panties and underwear and doing the most there. He has dates scheduled in the Big Apple on Tuesday and Wednesday. He also cited from frustration as he was being detained. Friends of his are said to be annoyed by the media coverage. He was with friends having dinner, a pal told News Nation, calling the rookie officer a typical Hamptons overzealous cop. Y'all see that? And then we can't even see the body cam footage, right? Like, that's not for us to see. We can't see it. He made him do a sobriety test, which he agreed to do. And then the guy continued to hassle him and wanted him to do a breathalyzer. Justin smartly and rightfully said no. And the American Hotel restaurant and bar is popular with celebs and is a regular haunt of rock icon Billy Joel, who's been known to tickle the ivories of the hotspot piano after a few cocktails. Joel crashed his car into a Sag Harbor home allegedly after spending the evening at the American Hotel. Well, damn, it seems like that place is like, if you go there, please expect to be pulled over. I mean, clearly they've had issues there with people drinking and driving. So something's going on there. And shout out to that officer for doing the right thing. Even though some of you fan stands don't want to admit it, he did the right thing by pulling him over. A witness at the American Hotel said Timberlake seemed wasted and even downed someone else's unattended drink. So he was drinking other people's drinks, y'all. This is what he was doing. I mean, we've seen that one video where he's with that other co-star and also taking other drinks that were there. Police in Sag Harbor are notorious for parking down the block from a popular bar like the American Hotel and waiting for patrons to return to their cars. Motorists are then followed for a bit and then stopped the moment their car weaves over the lane line, speeds, or ignores a stop or a red light. Before cell phones and cameras were everywhere, bartenders in the village would call 911 and report fire or an accident miles and miles away, just so their customers could drive home. Another local law enforcement source said. Now, while he faces up to a year in jail if convicted, experts believe Timberlake will likely receive a slap on the wrist, given that this is his first offense. But if I was that person driving and swerving, it would not be a slap on the wrist. I wouldn't have the attorney that Justin would have. Some of you, we just wouldn't be able to afford that kind of attorney, right? And I mean, it just shows the unfairness. Chris Cuomo, who lives in that community, isn't worried about Justin Timberlake or any DUI drivers. What's her name? Gail Keane feels like Justin isn't irresponsible and that, he knows this is a mistake, right? She was speaking for him. So as you can see, I mean, Justin Timberlake can do no wrong in this industry. All right. But like I said, if this was somebody else, people would be screaming conservatorship, conservatorship, conservatorship. And let me tell you, this is a preventable situation. Drinking and driving is never okay. That, my friend, is not okay. I'll see you guys on the next one. Let me know your thoughts in the comments about this whole situation. Rabbits out. Bye, guys.